Hi everyone, we are going to start off with a super simple image slider using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. As you can see, it is just a slideshow sitting in the upper left-hand corner of the web page. You can take this code and insert your slideshow into some sort of container or place it where you want it. This lesson is simply going to show some basic techniques. We are starting out in Replit. We are working in a week of image galleries and sliders REPL. Today is Monday, day 1. The first step is a single line of code, a single line of HTML to display the image. An image tag with a name of slide, and for now we will set a width of 400 pixels and a height of 200 pixels. By default, Replit has the script tags inserted in the bottom that point to the script.js file. And that's where we're going to start setting some variables. So we're going to head over to the script.js folder. Now what I've done here is I have started out with the code already set in place, and I'm just going to walk through it. So we started out by setting some variables. We let I equal 0 to set our starting point for the array we will be looping through. We let images equals, and just opening and closing brackets, sets our empty array to hold our images. And const time equals 3000 is a variable to set the time between image switches. 3000 is equal to 3000 milliseconds, which equals 3 seconds. I used a constant here because we don't want this time to change unless we change it here where we set it. For the I and the array variables, we use let because they will be changing. So next we built our array of images. Remember, an array is simply a variable that stores a list of values starting with an index of 0. To start, we will add 3 images to our array. We want to start small and test before expanding. You have an images folder provided with 10 pictures of Italy named italy1.jpg through italy10.jpg. Uh, so we're starting out with, as I said, the 3 images in the array, starting with an index of 0, then 1 and 2, that contain values of 3 of our image files. Next, we need a function to change the image from one to the next. A function is a grouping of instructions or statements that can be reused over and over without having to rewrite all of the statements. We start with a function keyword, right? Function. And then we named our function change img. In camel case, we need to set a parentheses at the end. These parentheses will hold any parameters that need to be sent to the function. Next, our curly braces to hold the statements. To display the images, we are using document.slide.src equals images array. Slide is the name we gave our img tag. And the value associated with that image in the array is what we are inserting as the source or SRC value. So that's why we can use that line. So next we need to decide which image to show next. We will use an if-else statement. If there is another image left in the array, we will show that image. If we are at the end, we want to go back to the beginning. Images.length will return the number of values in the images array. So if I is less than images.length minus 1, we'll check to see if we are at the last index of the array. We have to subtract 1 because our first index is 0. If I is less than the last index in the array, we will increment by 1 using I++. If we are at the last index, not less than images.length minus 1, we move to the else statement, which sets I back to 0. Now we need to tell the function how often to run. For that, we will use a global method called setTimeout, which sets a timer based on the parameters we send to it. In this case, we are sending the function, which is change img, and the time variable. So it will run the function every 3 seconds. Finally, we want the function to run for the first time when the page is loaded. So we need to go outside the function. And then we're going to use window.onload equals change image. So now we're going to move to the CSS to improve our styling some before we expand our array. So first I'm going to go to the HTML and I'm going to remove the styling that we included there. All right, so with that height and width removed, we're going to see the picture get really big. And now in the CSS, I am simply adding a max width and a max height of 600 pixels and setting the object fit property to contain. Once again, contain will maintain the aspect ratio while filling the full image and fitting it inside the dimensions we have laid out. So now that looks better. And we can go back and set the rest of our images. So we're going to go back over to the script.js file. I'm going to remove the commenting from these. And now we should start seeing all 10 of our images. So we'll let this run, see how it looks. And once again, when you're adding all of these images, right, copy and paste is your friend. You just need to do a couple, copy and paste them, change the numbers. I'm going to wait for it to switch over to some of the portrait. Yeah, there we go. So that still looks good in the portrait mode images. And there we have it. Super simple image slider you can use anywhere.